Welcome to Locked and Loaded Sports. It's time to lock in, load up, and win big. If you're serious about sports and love cashing in on solid picks, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's get to work. In this video, we will discuss Week 6 NFL picks for every game on the Sunday slate, using a blend of historical data, advanced sports analytics, and real-world sentiment to deliver sharp and sometimes contrarian betting picks. The NFL heads back to London for a Sunday morning matchup between two teams on very different trajectories. The New York Jets, still winless, face a 3-2 Denver Broncos squad that enters with confidence after a gutsy Week 5 win, while the Jets are searching for answers and the Broncos are looking to build on growing momentum in what should be an intriguing international clash. The Jets dropped their 5th straight game in Week 5, falling 37-22 to the Cowboys. Once again, protection issues plagued the offense, 5 sacks allowed, and a costly red zone fumble erased any chance at a comeback. They've now gone 0-5 straight up this season and have failed to cover in most outings. Their home field hasn't helped much either. In their last 7 home games, the Jets are just 1-6 straight up. Still, their games tend to get wild. The total has gone over in 6 of their last 7. Denver is riding high after a 21-17 comeback win over the Eagles in Week 5. Despite 12 penalties and a slow start, the Broncos rallied for 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, showing resilience and composure under pressure. Historically, Denver handles the Jets well, with a 6-3 against the spread mark in their last 9 meetings, including 4-1 when playing on the road in this series. We are getting locked and loaded with Denver to cover with a lean to the over. For our next game to break down, we are headed to Baltimore for a gritty Sunday afternoon showdown between the Ravens and the visiting Los Angeles Rams, a matchup shaped by history, injuries, and opportunity. Baltimore may be coming off a lopsided loss in Week 5, but this is still one of the toughest places to play in the NFL. The Ravens have gone 8-3 straight up in their last 11 home games and 4-2 against the spread over their last 6 at M&T Bank Stadium. Against the Rams, they flat out own the series, 5-1 straight up and 4-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings, including 4-1 straight up at home. The total has gone over in 5 of their last 6 home games, and history between these two sides suggests fireworks. 8 of the last 12 matchups have hit the over. But here's the challenge: no Lamar Jackson. With the franchise quarterback sidelined, Baltimore's offense sputtered in Week 5, gaining just 207 total yards and suffering a blowout loss to Houston. Derrick Henry was bottled up, the passing game stalled, and the defense was missing key playmakers like Roquan Smith and Marlon Humphrey. Even at home, this version of the Ravens faces serious questions. Now to the Los Angeles Rams, a team that's been solid, if not spectacular. They fell to San Francisco in Week 5, 27-20, in a tough divisional battle. It snapped some of their momentum, but didn't erase the bigger picture. The Rams are 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 games and 7-1 against the spread on the road. Even in the loss, Matthew Stafford threw for 263 yards, and the offense moved the ball well against the top-tier 49ers defense. This Rams team may not be red hot, but they're battle-tested, well-coached, and far more complete on the offensive side right now than a Ravens squad without its MVP quarterback. Baltimore's home edge and historical dominance over the Rams keep this one competitive, but in the end, Stafford's offense should do enough against the depleted Ravens D, while Baltimore's backup-led offense struggles to keep pace. We are getting locked and loaded with the Rams to cover. Friendly reminder, this video is free, and so is the subscribe button. Smash it. And now the Indianapolis Colts return home in Week 6, riding a wave of momentum, while the Arizona Cardinals limp into Lucas Oil Stadium after a brutal collapse last week. Few teams look better in Week 5 than the Colts. Indianapolis dismantled the Raiders 46 behind 3 touchdowns from Jonathan Taylor and a clean mistake-free game from Daniel Jones. The Colts controlled time of possession, dictated tempo, and scored on 6 of their first 8 possessions. According to ESPN, this was the most balanced and dominant Indy has looked all year. This isn't a one-off either. Indianapolis has quietly become one of the league's most consistent teams. They're 5-1 straight up in their last 6 and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 overall. At home, they've been even better. Offensively, the Colts rank near the top of the league in yards per play and red zone efficiency, according to Pro Football Focus. Jonathan Taylor is back in elite form, and the offensive line has been dominating at the point of attack. Defensively, they continue to frustrate offenses with their discipline and pass rush. Arizona will need to be sharp to move the ball, and lately, the Cardinals haven't shown they can do that consistently. The Cardinals were in full control against the Titans in Week 5, up 21-6 late in the third quarter, before completely imploding. A fumble at the goal line while celebrating early, a dropped interception that turned into a touchdown, and a blown fourth quarter lead that led to a 22-21 loss. As Bleacher Report noted, it was one of the most avoidable collapses of the season so far. To their credit, the defense has played relatively well, holding opponents under 24 points in 4 straight games. And the offense, with Kyler Murray back under center, has shown occasional spark. But mistakes, poor second-half adjustments, and red zone turnovers have repeatedly derailed any momentum. Indianapolis is 5-2 straight up in its last 7 games. 7 games against Arizona and undefeated in its last 5 home games. The total has gone under in 7 of the last 8 meetings between these teams and in 4 of the last 5 in Indianapolis. Arizona has gone under the total in 5 of its last 6 road games, while the Colts have seen the over-hit in 14 of their last 21 at home, but not usually against Arizona. So while the Colts have been scoring in bunches lately, history suggests this matchup tends to be a lower scoring grind. We're getting locked and loaded with the under and the Colts to win straight up. Don't forget to hit the like button. We appreciate you. For our next Sunday matchup, the Los Angeles Chargers travel south to take on the Miami Dolphins in a clash between a team trying to punch back into relevance and another reeling from recent losses. Miami, still searching for consistency after a difficult start, will look to lean on home energy and a dynamic offense. In Week 5, the Chargers fell at home to the Commanders 27-10, and the loss exposed several soft spots. They jumped out to a 10-0 lead but unraveled thanks to penalties, turnovers, and an offense that stalled. Quarterback Justin Herbert was under siege, sacked 4 times, and the offensive line injuries further degraded protection. Despite those issues, Keenan Allen was a bright spot, reaching 1,000 career receptions and finishing with team highs in catches and yardage. Offensively, the Chargers can still move the ball, but their ceiling depends on Herbert's pocket time, health on the line, and better execution in critical moments. Miami enters Week 6 locked in surviving mode. They lost 27-24 to Carolina in Week 5 after blowing a 17-point lead. The offense started fast, but Carolina's adjustments and Miami's own mistakes penalties, defensive breakdowns turned the tide. Without Tyreek Hill for the season, Miami has leaned on committee touches, spreading the workload across receivers, tight ends, and backs. They have shown balance, but creativity only goes so far when defenses key in. Defensively, their run defense is an issue. Through 5 games, the Dolphins have allowed at least 150 rushing yards in 4 games. That's a huge red flag, especially against a Chargers team that can run when needed. Miami has home energy and offensive weapons, and the Chargers bring serious firepower. But the line and turnover issues present a major obstacle. With Herbert's protection uncertain and the Dolphins' offense still dangerous, this game sets up as a back-and-forth shootout. With this in mind, we would buy a hook or a point. We are getting locked and loaded with the Chargers to cover. Our next matchup features 2 teams coming off Week 5 wins meet in New Orleans, where the Patriots look to build on one of their most impressive victories in years, while the Saints try to string together wins after finally breaking into the win column. Both squads have a lot to prove and a lot on the line heading into Sunday. New Orleans picked up its first win of the season in Week 5, taking down the Giants 26-14 at home. Quarterback Spencer Rattler managed the game well, and the defense stole the show, forcing 5 turnovers, including an 86-yard fumble return TD by Jordan Howden that flipped momentum early. The win snapped a brutal stretch, and historically the Saints have been a solid bet against New England, going 9-3 against the spread in their last 12 matchups. Second-year quarterback Drake May led New England to a signature 23-20 win over Buffalo in Week 5, outdueling Josh Allen in a tight Sunday night matchup. May threw for 273 yards, spread the ball around smartly, and kept the offense turnover-free. Stephon Diggs posted a vintage performance, 146 yards, and Ramondre Stevenson scored twice on the ground. The Patriots are quietly becoming a tough out on the road. They've covered 5 of their last 7 away from Foxborough and won 4 of their last 5 trips to New Orleans straight up. While they're still digging out of last season's struggles, the arrow is pointing up, especially with May showing command, confidence, and composure under pressure. Head-to-head, the Saints are 9-3 ATS versus the Patriots in the last 12, but the Patriots are 4-1 straight up in their last 5 trips to New Orleans. We are getting locked and loaded with the Patriots to win straight up. Sunday's AFC North showdown sees the Cleveland Browns traveling to face a Pittsburgh Steelers team riding momentum and rich history. Coming off their bye week, the Steelers are rested and poised, while Cleveland seeks answers after a close defeat in London. The Browns fell 21-17 in London to the Vikings, where Dylan Gabriel showed promise in his first start, 190 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, and Quinshon Judkins rushed for over 100 yards. But while flashes were there, Cleveland couldn't close, and their defensive collapse late, along with turnovers, cost them dearly. Cleveland enters this game with a brutal trend line. 1-10 straight up in its last 11 outings. Their road offenses had bursts, but consistency and composure are big questions. The Steelers are coming off a bye week, but not from idleness. They warmed up with a dramatic 24-21 victory over the Vikings in Ireland, showing they can win in hostile foreign environments. That win adds a dose of confidence and gives them recent proof of their clutch performance. Combine that with head coach Mike Tomlin's 14-5 record after bye weeks and his 26-6 win-loss record over rookie quarterbacks, and you've got a team not only rested but historically ready to roll. Pittsburgh's dominance over Cleveland is extreme: 21-1 straight up at home in their last 22 meetings, and then 7-1 against the spread in the same span. That tough London loss reinforced the Browns' flaws in clutch moments. Meanwhile, the Steelers, after a bye and a gutsy overseas win, carry momentum, coaching advantages, and historic dominance into this key divisional tilt. We are getting locked and loaded with the Steelers to win straight up. The Dallas Cowboys roll into Charlotte with momentum, while the Carolina Panthers look to build on a thrilling comeback win at home. Two teams with very different expectations, but both showing signs of life as Week 6 kicks off. Carolina shocked Miami with a 27-24 comeback win after trailing 17-0. Running back Rico Dowdle was electric, posting 206 rushing yards and a touchdown, while Bryce Young bounced back from 2 early turnovers to throw the game winner in the final minutes. But even in victory, Carolina's defensive vulnerabilities were on display. And according to ESPN, that remains the Panthers' biggest concern heading into Week 6. Dallas took care of business on the road against the Jets, winning 37-22 behind Dak Prescott's 4 touchdown passes and a powerful rushing effort from Javonte Williams, who tallied 135 yards in a score. The Cowboys' defense showed up too, adding multiple sacks and turnovers despite missing key starters. Carolina is showing signs of life, particularly in the run game, but their defense has been gashed by both air and ground attacks, a bad matchup against the Dallas team that's suddenly clicking on offense. Dallas may not be perfect, but when they're healthy enough to protect Dak and run the ball, they're dangerous. They've owned this matchup historically, and Carolina's defense hasn't proven it can stop a team with this kind of offensive balance. Carolina is gritty at home, and that comeback win in Week 5 shows they aren't folding. But Dallas brings too much offensive firepower, and history favors the visitors, especially with a 6-1 straight-up record and a 5-2 against the spread record when playing in Charlotte. We are getting locked and loaded with the Cowboys to cover with a lean on the over. This Sunday's matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Jacksonville Jaguars in Florida sets the stage for an intriguing AFC showdown. Seattle comes in with a solid recent road record, boasting a 6-2 against the spread mark and a perfect 5-0 straight up in their last 5 away games. The Seahawks have been effective moving the ball, with their total going over in 4 of their last 6 road contests, and they found success historically against the Jaguars with a 5-2 record, both against the spread and straight up in their last 7 meetings. On the other side, the Jaguars are riding a wave of momentum and promise under new head coach Liam Cohen, who took over in January 2025. Jacksonville's offense is led by their franchise quarterback Trevor Lawrence, whose development has been key to the team's progress. Supporting him is a dynamic backfield duo of Travis Etienne Jr. and Tank Bigsby, who provide balance with their ability to run and catch out of the backfield. Rookie standout Travis Hunter has been a unique weapon, contributing on both offense and defense, adding a versatile edge to Jacksonville's game plan. Defensively, linebacker Devin Lloyd has emerged as a game-changer with the league leading 4 takeaways and a high PFF grade, anchoring a defense that can create turnovers and stifle opposing offenses. This Jaguars unit has been competitive at home, sporting a 6-1 and 1 against the spread mark in their last 8 games at home. Historically, Jacksonville has struggled a bit against Seattle, with a 2-5 record both against the spread and straight up in their last 7 matchups, and the total has gone over in most of these contests. Meanwhile, Seattle's balanced attack and proven road resilience make them a tough team to beat away from home. That being stated, the Jaguars did just beat another NFC West powerhouse team in Week 4 against the San Francisco 49ers with a 26-21 final score. This proves they are built to contend with teams in this division. With this in mind, we are getting locked and loaded with the Jaguars to cover at home. Our next Week 6 matchup features the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, with Green Bay favored by double digits. The Packers are coming off a gritty Week 4 tie against the Dallas Cowboys. The Bengals are reeling after a tough Week 5 loss to the Detroit Lions and will be without their star quarterback Joe Burrow again. This absence is a significant blow to Cincinnati's offense, forcing them to rely on their backup quarterback and a more conservative game plan. While Cincinnati has shown resilience on the road in recent years, their offensive limitations without Burrow make it tough to keep pace with the Packers in Green Bay's hostile environment. Historically, the Packers have dominated at home against Cincinnati, posting a 6-3 record against the spread in their last 9 meetings. Given Green Bay's strong home form and the Bengals' offensive uncertainty, the Packers are well positioned to not only win but cover the large spread. With all factors considered, the Packers' home advantage, post-bye success, and Cincinnati's quarterback situation, we're getting locked and loaded with the Packers to cover. Don't forget to drop a comment with your favorite pick. Our next Week 6 showdown features the Las Vegas Raiders hosting the Tennessee Titans, a game that pits 2 struggling squads looking to turn their seasons around. Las Vegas has had a tough stretch recently. Despite those numbers, the Raiders have been more competitive historically against the Titans in Las Vegas, posting a 6-3 straight-up mark in those contests. Tennessee, on the other hand, is facing a longer rough patch, though winning just one of their last 11 games straight up and struggling mightily against the spread with a 3-15 mark in their last 18 contests overall. On the road, the Titans have been even more challenged, going 1-5 straight up in their last 6 away games, including poor showings against Las Vegas. Offensively, both teams have seen their fair share of underperforming moments, but the trend toward the total going over in most recent games on both sides points to a potentially higher scoring affair. With Las Vegas's home advantage and historical edge over Tennessee at Allegiant Stadium, combined with Tennessee's ongoing struggles on the road and overall form, the smart play here is to lean with the favorites. While public perception might highlight both teams' difficulties, we are getting locked and loaded with the Raiders to cover. And for another intriguing matchup to break down, we have the San Francisco 49ers visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Head coach Kyle Shanahan has enjoyed great success against Tampa Bay, owning a 3-1 record. Mac Jones stepped up impressively last week, leading San Francisco to a solid victory over the Rams. While George Kittle remains on injured reserve, there's optimism he could return soon, which would add a big boost to the offense. On the other side, Tampa Bay has been strong at home this season with a 4-2 straight-up record, fueled by their rising rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, who has quickly become a key offensive weapon as Mike Evans recovers from injury. Quarterback Baker Mayfield continues to manage the offense well, but the Buccaneers have struggled historically against the 49ers, winning just once in their last 5 meetings. Both teams have seen a mixture of overs and unders recently, but the trend in their head-to-head games leans toward the under, especially in Tampa Bay's home games. With injuries affecting some star players, this game can lean towards a more controlled, lower-scoring affair. Taking into account Shanahan's track record, the 49ers' recent momentum, and Tampa Bay's ongoing injury concerns, we are getting locked and loaded with San Francisco to cover. Don't forget it's free to hit that like button. And now for our Sunday night football matchup, we have the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Detroit Lions, setting the stage for a clash between two teams with contrasting recent trends and strong offensive weapons. At home, the Chiefs have been especially formidable, boasting a 14-1 straight-up mark over their last 15 games. However, against the spread, Kansas City has struggled a bit more, going 6-12 against the spread in their last 18 games and 3-6 against the spread at home over their last 9. This indicates some vulnerability to betting lines, but a strong home field advantage remains clear. The Chiefs' offense continues to thrive with standout performers such as quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who remains one of the league's most dynamic playmakers, and wide receiver Xavier Worthy, who has been providing crucial explosive plays. Their offensive prowess often pushes totals higher, reflected by the overhitting in 4 of their last 6 games and 8 of their last 9 matchups against Detroit. Detroit, meanwhile, has been on a hot streak, riding an 18-3 straight-up run over their last 21 games and an impressive 12-2 against the spread record on the road in their last 14 contests. The Lions' recent success has been fueled by key contributors like quarterback Jared Goff, who has shown steady leadership and accuracy, and running back Jahmyr Gibbs, whose dual-threat ability has energized Detroit's offense. Despite this, the Lions have struggled against Kansas City historically, holding a 3-6 straight-up record in their last 9 encounters, and particularly on the road, where they are just 1-4 straight up and against the spread against the Chiefs. Totals have generally leaned towards the over in this series, with high-scoring affairs being the norm, especially when the Lions visit Kansas City. However, Kansas City's home games more broadly have tended to go under in 17 of their last 25, suggesting a potential for a more controlled game. We are getting locked and loaded with the under on the first half and a lean on the Chiefs to cover. That wraps up another breakdown here on Locked and Loaded Sports. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest sports analysis and betting insights. More picks, more locks, and more action is coming your way. That's all for now. Stay sharp, stay ready, and get locked and loaded.